chain drug review, and mass market retailers video forum.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeffrey Wolt, Editor-in-Chief of Retail Media IQ. Welcome to our video forum. Today we're delighted to bring you the second part of our conversation with Sherri Keeth, Vice President of Healthcare at Sam's Club. Earlier you mentioned the optical departments and the hearing centers. How do you look to build synergies between pharmacy and those two departments and also OTC healthcare and nutritional supplements?
I think it's so interesting when I was reading this question, Jeff, that you talk about departments. A lot of times in merchandising lingo, we say categories. And my team and I think a lot, we talk frequently about how our members really define wellness in the club. And really, I'm pretty certain they aren't thinking in terms of departments or categories. Our members are increasingly proactive about their health, and they're not waiting for something to happen and then create a reactive solution. And they have really a growing sense of agency over their own unique wellness goals and how they want to achieve them. So they are thinking very broadly to include things like sleep, even mindfulness. Like wellness has a much more broad definition, I think, than maybe it did in the past. And when they're shopping with us, they're seeking wellness solutions that they find throughout the club. So that's things like wearables and electronics, obviously fresh produce, better for you snacks. We have supplements and adaptogens in the OTC space, like you mentioned. And so those assortments are all important. And then from our position then as healthcare merchandisers, it's really important that we take an expansive view that's similar to members. We participate at our enterprise business level along with Walmart and the Nourish My Health um, campaign for NACDS, and then also programs like directed spend. So there are some enterprise things that we leverage and industry programs like Nourish My Health. And then specifically to Sam's, we have recently partnered with a company that's called Well. They help us connect members to wellness items and services throughout the whole club. Well is a digital platform offering, and it's personalized. It offers personalized health journeys within hundreds of relevant topics to improve overall health. Our members can access that platform at no cost just by signing up with their Sam's Club cardholder ID. And when you first join, you get to set some of your own wellness goals. So you sort of input what's important to you, what are your top priorities. And then each day, Well sends a brief, it's usually a 2 to 3 minute experience, but it's guided health content that's focused on achieving those health goals. And then as you engage over time, you actually earn rewards, and that goes back to a range of healthy items available at Sam's. Those rewards are loaded right to your membership card. So the next time you're shopping either in the club or even online, you can just redeem those rewards. The most popular rewards, to your point earlier, are really around our fresh food in that fresh food space. I seem to remember, I think fresh cherries were a big deal a couple of weeks ago. So those are just a few of the programs that we have available to members, and they take us out of more of that department or category perspective and transform the whole club into something that can have a real impact on wellness.
Do you find that that program stimulates more interaction with the pharmacist in the store?
It does. And I will tell you too, our pharmacy staff has been the primary driver of the engagement in that platform. So they're well aware of it and they understand the benefits. And it does create a sense of dialogue, and members will come in and they'll show our pharmacists all the rewards that they've earned. So yeah, absolutely. It increases, I think, engagement in the club, and then also the sense of Sam's Club playing a role in wellness, no matter if you're shopping from home or in the club.
Sure, you mentioned food and that was part of healthcare. Where do you think the food is medicine trend will lead us in the next, 2-3 years?
Our pharmacists really are some of our biggest advocates for members to engage with healthy items throughout the club. They really have been a primary force introducing, like I mentioned, the platforms like Well, other access to even some of the monitoring devices like continuous glucose monitoring that's becoming a lot more popular among even non-diabetic patients. But I really think it's important maybe that we call out, even if we haven't always called it food as medicine, our pharmacists are introduced to the impact of food on therapy and also the overall impact of outcomes on particular conditions as part of their core education. So this is something that pharmacists have been involved with. The question was to what degree pharmacists are involved with food as it plays a role in therapy even from the very beginning of their pharmacy school education. So I think it's less of a question of how do we get pharmacists engaged and more maybe just creating awareness with members that our pharmacists actually are a trusted resource when it comes to connecting the dots across the food. Like I said, monitoring and interpretation. So, if you say you get a continuous glucose monitor, how do you know what that means? How do you interpret, what foods maybe are making your glucose spike? They have a great role to play there. Even, the way that macronutrients come together, pharmacists actually have that education already. I'll say as the science takes off around, and I hate to use a buzzword, but around longevity and things like health span, our pharmacists are really well positioned to lead the way in navigating based on what they already know. And then at SAMS, of course, we will continue to provide them training and member facing tools that bring it all together. But I think they are involved in food as medicine, and that's always something that's on their mind.
Recently, Sam's announced a very ambitious growth strategy. You intend to double membership, sales, and profit within an 8 to 10 year period. How does pharmacy and healthcare fit into that program?
Great question. And I'm actually going to be a little bold here. So Sam's does have an ambitious growth strategy over the long term. I don't expect our wellness business to follow that same trajectory. I truly expect that pharmacy and health services will grow even faster than those audacious goals. And I'll
Okay.
tell you why. Uh, First, we have a right to win in healthcare. We have always invested to deliver meaningful value as part of our membership model, but now we're aligned with the rest of the club when it comes to a truly convenient omni-channel shopping experience, and we are just getting started there. We have a fleet of dedicated associates who have kept a relentless focus on caring for people. We have now a merchandise team that's creating connections to wellness across categories. So, no matter the item or the buyer, we all understand that wellness is a priority for our members and it's a priority for us.
Mhm.
So healthcare, and I will say too, healthcare plays an important role in achieving that ambitious organizational goal as well. So we know that when members are engaged in healthcare, they renew at a higher rate. They visit us more often. They shop more categories than members who have yet to engage in healthcare. So in fact, our healthcare growth is some of the fuel that actually puts us in the position to achieve those ambitious goals for the total company.
Final question for you. How close is Sam's Club and I guess the industry, pharmacy industry as a whole, to really establishing themselves as a true neighborhood healthcare center?
Certainly. I would be remiss here if I didn't mention the work that we remain really committed to with NACDS to expand the pharmacist role in delivery of basic primary care services, things like test and treat for common ailments like flu or strep throat, and also that our pharmacists should be appropriately compensated for that care. So,
Mhm.
the ability for pharmacies specifically to provide greater access to affordable, high quality care is truly important on that path to being a community health center. So, apart from that shameless plug, I think I might actually go back to where we started, that this really comes down certainly more to than just clinical rigor and operational productivity, because all those are certainly important. But we earn that most trusted pharmacy designation because of the way that we make patients feel understood and cared for. And I'll tell you candidly, this is a frightening time to be a patient who is maybe using a pharmacy that you just found out is closing. Like we have all these chain drugstores that are having to either reduce their locations, or some of them, closing down what feels like overnight. And there's just a tremendous amount of uncertainty then around the places and the programs that our patients have looked to for support. So I think it's just so important that we remain committed, and I would include Walmart here too, to our core values of just helping people to live better. We have to keep listening. We have to keep innovating as our members' needs and expectations change. If we had the time, I was going to ask, could I read a note from one of our patients that I think kind of crystallizes?
Please do.
So this letter, we actually just got it on Monday, is addressed to our CEO, Chris Nicholas. And it says, I suspect that you receive letters with complaints. This is definitely not one of those. I'm writing to acknowledge the awesome over and above service I always receive from the pharmacy at my local Sam's Club in Asheville, North Carolina. Each time I visit them, they are as busy as they can be, but super efficient, careful, and they take the time to review and explain the prescriptions I receive. They always help me compare prices from my insurance, my discount card, and my Plus membership, and they ensure that I'm getting the best value. I recently switched all of my healthcare providers to send all of my prescriptions to Sam's Club. And when I think about true community care, that is the kind of stuff we just have to keep doing. We are part of the community, and we just have to show up and serve people.
No, that's a great tribute to you and your pharmacy team, and congratulations on that. And thank you for your
Thank you.
time today.
For sure. Thanks, Jeff.